Hello and welcome back, everyone, to our Pathfinder Second Edition campaign, session 41. How's everyone doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah,
Yay.
good. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? It's your boys.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
Okay. Thanks, Richard, for that.
Just trying a new intro.
Yeah, we're going for that like YouTuber clout. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey
Right, well,
guys, what's up? It's Legends Rising.
Don't forget to
No.
sponsored by NordVPN.
No.
All right. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? If everyone is ready and has everything that they require for a good game.
I
I'm not-
have food, I have drinks, I have our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Is that your new character?
Yeah, that was my new character. After
Okay, right.
after Sire dies, I'm gonna play literally Jesus Christ.
It's actually pronounced Jesus Christ.
Yeah, his name was actually Yashua. But anyway, would he be a paladin or a cleric? He does say, "I am the sword," right?
He
I think he's
does.
just. I think
I
he's
would,
just.
I would think he'd be like a monk cleric.
No,
I'd say-
sorcerer or witch.
Yeah, you're going into the sort of like quite blasphemous take.
I'd
Okay.
say Asimar Paladin.
Asimar Paladin.
No.
Well,
Because he doesn't get his powers. He doesn't get power because he's dedicated to God. He gets his powers because he is part of God. So he'd be a sorcerer.
well, not all Christians believe that.
What divine soul?
Divine soul sorcerer.
Yeah.
Very divine soul.
I mean, hot take. I mean, considering the whole concept of phylacteries come from Jewish law, he could be a lich. He just returned. He's just come back from the dead, right?
He does come back from the dead
So
after a set period of time.
Jesus the Lich confirmed. Anyway, let's get into the game. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so last we left off, last we left our heroes, you had just all arrived in the city of Lenora, also known as the Emerald City, the capital of Adana. You gathered your bearings, found various places to stay, the Head's Heavy Rest for Calcifer, Henning, and Cyan, and the Might and Fine for Cascus and Hanera. And you all began putting your kind of plan into action as to the sort of things that you were going to get started doing while in the city. So you spoke with Thelorin, who is the patron of the Head's Heavy Rest, and asked him just questions about the council and just general things about that. He insinuated that Darin Kaidas had been using his influence as keel to allow these kind of archaeological digs to occur within previously unallowed ground in the city. All because of the Regency Council that Adana is currently under, which means that whomever has the most influence over the Padrian has kind of almost total control. And Darin Kaidas happens to be in a position of great authority. So, where did we leave off exactly last time? You were just shopping, right?
Yeah, I think last time we had just looked. We found some things that we were going to buy later on, and I think me and Calcifer were pointing towards the Emerald Armory for the guy who made all of those golems.
Yeah.
I think you put a deposit down for something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, for the shadow cloak.
Down for the, yeah.
Okay, well, so in that case, let's just go in from the next day, shall we? So you've had some rest. Go on.
Yeah, just between those two periods of time, I want to use the exploration action, build connections. I think that's one. Building connections.
Okay, what does that do?
Downtime. Hold on. Sorry, Pathfinder.
That's right. I'm just googling.
Making connections. Society check. Wait, hold on. No, that's the spell connection. Basically, I'm gearing up to want to use the action connections. So he's going to spend time in the kind of highbrow zone, basically trying to begin using his nice new clothes that he's got to kind of develop some very early relationships.
Is that a feat?
People. Yes, connections.
Okay.
So it's general skill feat. Yeah.
Yeah, FYI, it is uncommon. but I'll allow it.
Is it?
It says it's uncommon.
Oh shit! Sorry. It is.
It's all right. I'll allow
I'll
it.
go.
Next time, yeah, it's better to speak to
No,
you.
fair. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Let's have a look. That's what I just hadn't heard of it before. Attempt to society check to arrange a meeting with an important political figure or ask a favor in exchange for a latter favor of your contact's choice. Do you have an idea of someone that you want to?
So I mean, it's more like I think so. There's the relationship building just now, just general like nobles and get a bit of a view. Then there's he's gonna go to the council, and then he's gonna want to try and arrange a meeting with what's her name? Princess Rendar.
Okay,
So he's kind of building up to that, if that makes sense.
sure.
Um,
That's probably going to take you a little while.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
So, all right. In that case, we'll start from the 89th day of spring then. So you all awaken, well rested in your various choices of inns. Cascus and Hinera, you have a absolutely luxurious night in your very expensive place to stay. As you wake up the next morning and make your way down, there's a couple of quite well-dressed nobles sharing a meal together, but otherwise it's quite quiet. If you wish to introduce yourself,
I think it would have to be Hanira who goes first on that one.
it's your choice.
Yeah, alright.
You don't recognize them.
I mean, maybe we could just go be up to like eating and bump into it and just take. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, as you make your way into the sort of downstairs area, the innkeeper Serafina comes over to you. How was your stay last night?
Very nice, thank you.
Fantastic. Anything to drink, eat?
Yes, please.
Is the price of the food and the drink included with the bill of the room?
Of course, it is on the house.
In that case, I will have, if possible, some meat of some description. I am no elf. I do not feel the pull to some of the more delicate tastes.
She bows. She bows and slinks behind the counter, and after a few moments, comes out with a kind of platter of cold meats, like kind of like sausage and bread, bit of cheese, some fruits and wines, and she just arranges it on your table. Is this to your standard?
This is wonderful. He's trying to because I don't think we've probably had meat in a while.
Only kind of dried jerkies and stuff. I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, he's happy.
Fantastic. She says, if you need anything, come find me.
Thank you.
Obviously, the elves are not ones for cooking necessarily, so she just happens to keep a lot of things just for anyone who doesn't want to eat their terrible food. Okay, so in the distance, you see these nobles sat around a table, just talking to each other, gladly chatting. You don't quite overhear what they're saying from where you are, but it's a number of there's 2 women and 2 men, dressed in fine elven livery. You notice that they occasionally look up at you and are quite interested, I guess, in that there's a human here staying.
I get the feeling they are looking over here.
Why don't you go and say hi?
I cannot.
No, they don't know that's not a human thing to do.
I mean, I am trying to meet as many people as I can right now. It would make sense to Okay, let's go over and not to make this
Try
weird.
and use your body language to invite them to conversation.
Cascus turns to them and waits to get eye contact with one of them, and then
Maybe a
Wait.
perception check.
Perception check. Yep. Not great. 18.
So you notice that two of them are probably looking kind of middle-aged. It's quite hard to place exactly how old they might be, and two of them look younger. So they're chatting quite friendly with each other. You suspect that they might be a family.
Mm.
A sort of man, his wife, and then a son and a daughter.
Try biographical eye on them. Like after kind of observing them, we've kind of been on the sidelines maybe for like a minute or so while we've been eating, noticing them. So it's a DC 30 society check. And then the outcome is, if it's a success, I will learn the creature's
Yeah, I've got it
profession.
here. It's cool.
Cool. Right, I'm going to do a society check if that's right. I won't spam this too much because it feels a bit
That's all
silly,
good.
but...
That's right.
No, not very good. 22. Not a hit.
Okay, so that's a failure. So you learn the creature's profession and the region of the world they hail from. Well, you know that they hail from Adna. You can't quite make out exactly, I guess, what house they're from, but they are dressed very wealthily. The head of what seems to be the head of the household is wearing a kind of dark red cloak that is adorned with kind of crisscross patterns with silver thread all down it. He's wearing a kind of like purple kind of jacket underneath. You have the suspicion that maybe he's a High Lord of some sort.
Would
That suspicion is generally because he every now and again he just seems to be fiddling with something in his hand that you suspiciously looks a little bit like a hex weave that you've seen before.
Can I like just before we? I think that one there points at the one with the I think he has a hex weave. Do you have any idea who it could be?
Can I do a check?
Yeah, just such. Let me know what the roll is on that.
21.
21. So the red cloak suggests he's probably from House Ignis of some sort. But he doesn't seem to be anyone from House Ignis that you know. So he's probably like like an underlord to House Ignis. Probably in charge of just a region within House Ignis territory. You'd probably have to get a bit closer to pick up more details on that front.
Can I just have a bit of a primer? Sorry, on our kind of standing with Ignis. I'm being a bit silly.
You haven't really
not
come
our
on.
standing, but you know what I mean. Like
You've not really come on their radar, come onto their radar too much. There's obviously you had the issue with House Caden and getting arrested and stuff, who are allies of House Ignis, but doesn't necessarily mean like you're not necessarily famous enough for that.
Yeah,
you know.
They did attack that convoy we were part of.
yeah.
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 Okay,
Oh,
fine.
yeah. But that they weren't necessarily attacking you.
No.
But yeah, House Ignis are currently invading House Rexus. So.
House Ignis, yeah, Rexus, and obviously, yeah, there's the whole business for Cyan as well. Okay, cool. Well, let's go over and kind of I'll kind of go near and I'll see if they initiate a conversation. Or
You get up from your table, and after a little while, the head of the household looks over to you and nods.
Mhm.
He beckons you over. As you approach, his son, the kind of young lordling, seems to be maybe kind of more Hanera's age, just wearing kind of a kind of more colloquial kind of dress. He doesn't seem to be the kind of person who is going to any meetings or anything. He's just wearing something comfortable, kind of like a tunic or something. The son and the daughter both stand, and he introduces himself as Eldred Serelith. The father stands up and says, "It is not very often that we have humans here. I am."
You put the name in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah. He says, "I am Lord Callian Serelith. It is good to see people following our custom."
Well, I'll try and provide a reciprocal greeting in the kind of the manner of that I've kind of picked up over time so far in Elvish, and I'll make an impression check as I do that. Serelith. And I'm rolling like below 5 every single roll so far.
You make a little bit of a faux pas, but he doesn't seem necessarily massively uptight, or he seems quite open to your attempts. He smiles a little bit and says, "What is it that you are? What is your purpose of visiting our capital? I'm interested."
Well, I have always wanted to see the great city of Nelinora. As a merchant from far away, and envoy, you must understand that it is not usual to see such history and magnificent splendor in one place. You see, us humans, we like to bury and build upon the past. You elves, you like to present it in its full majesty for all to see.
He nods and says, "Yes, well, I am sorry to hear about the events that are rocking your people at the moment."
Ah, you speak of this business with the banking guild in Axel's Kutaband.
I do. On what side do you lie of that?
Well, can I do, before I say, can I do a quick check or something to get a sense of where Ignis would land on it? If that makes sense. Society or diplomacy?
It'll be really high DC.
Okay, but like, I mean, like roughly, right? I mean, I guess it's like, Ignis as a nation, and then obviously this guy I'd have no clue, right?
Yeah.
Society?
Sure.
Enough 3. 20.
You don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna say the most beige thing ever.
How do I say this the most politically I can?
Yeah.
War is bad.
I remain, and in cards on the table. I do have a relationship with Merchant Prince, Ezra, in it. I'm not wrong, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Axel's Kutaband, but I am deeply concerned about the implications of any type conflict for both our people and yours. It is good grace in human nations to get a bit of a feel for who I am sat on the other side with. I do not want to second guess, but do you by chance come from the Great Western? I don't know what we'd call it. Like, what's a colloquial term for like the west of the nation?
Yeah, the West, I guess.
The West.
He says, "I am the head of House Serelith. We are part of the field, or the fold of House Ignis, far in the north. We have travelled here from through the mountains, and we are staying to meet the council."
Can I use the feat, and I'll bring in here in a sec. Sorry, so I'm mobilizing a bit. I just want to use the feat I have called Discreet Inquiry, because So you're successful in your efforts to learn the things you need to know. When gather information, you can hide the true subject of inquiry among other topics of little interest to you without increasing the difficulty of the check or taking more time to gather information. Well, let me see if I can. Can I do gather information in a conversation, or can I do it? Do I have to do it kind of like around and about? I'm not actually sure.
Yeah.
So it'd be basically a diplomacy check, and I'm going to be asking just about, like a bit about like where they're from. So I'm low-key interested why if they come here.
Yeah.
If I can ascertain information. That's
Sure. Yeah. Do that check then.
33.
After a couple of minutes of talking, he lets you know that he has arrived in the city to present. He has been ordered to present himself and to provide evidence on current events that are going on in House Cygnus. That's all he says. He turns to you and says, "And who is your friend sitting over there?"
This is my traveling companion. I kind of nod with a bit of deference, I suppose, slightly to it, in the way I nod.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
You gonna introduce her?
well, I don't want to use her name. I want Joanne to make that choice if she wants to use her name.
Yeah. Well, Cascus is currently not next to Hanera, so.
Oh, right. Oh, I see. This is Hanera.
Are you, Hanera? You can see Cascus sort of like looking over at you. And kind of...
I don't want to. don't want to out her without her.
Okay, sorry, my headset's doing this weird thing. Yeah. I just carry on where I'm sitting.
Just give him the evil.
Unless he's actually like using his arms to obviously beckon me over.
Well,
He's nodding.
I mean,
just gonna sit down.
I feel like he kind of would be a little bit because that would be how the convo would flow. But you can ignore it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ignore it.
So you see Hanera ignore his obvious invitation for you to introduce Hanera to him. He says, "Shy, is she?"
She has a lot on her mind at the moment.
Very well. Well, I'm sure that we will be seeing you about. It will be interesting to have further conversations, I'm sure.
Indeed, I would most like to continue this relationship. And for what it is worth, I am interested in meeting with the council myself. I have a letter penned from the Merchant Prince himself for the council's purview. It would be great if you could. Of course, I would not put this on you, my lord, but if there was any advice or information you could give to help me deliver in person that message, that would be most appreciated.
If you have a letter, I can always deliver it for you. Give them the information for where you're staying.
Is there a system here which allows people to present themselves in front of the council?
It is usually
diplomatic business, of course.
It is difficult to get entry into the grounds of the palace without an invitation.
Well, there must be a person who deals with foreign envoys.
Aye, that's usually the council.
Yes, but as an interface, somebody to go to if any nation in the world has a problem with what is going on or wishes to speak with the council, I feel that would be something that would exist, no?
If you were to present yourself at the Green Hold, I'm sure they'll be able to hear what you have to say, of course.
Very well. Thank you.
He nods, and his wife and children both wave you goodbye as you return back to Hanera.
And Hanera, I hope that the display of forlorn looking was that there was some attractive elf over there that caught your eye, and not that you were leaving me on my own to deal with him.
Oh yeah, it was the sun. He's really attractive. It distracted me.
The
Can I
the
do a
sun keeps
sense
giving, yeah,
motive?
looking over at you and sort of smiling.
I'm going to do a sense motive on that one. Lie detector +1. No pursuit lead on this though. Are you lying?
Was that my diplomacy?
It'll be your DC, it'll be your
Deception?
deception DC, wouldn't it?
Damn it. Yeah, I'm obviously lying.
Mm, well, giving those eyes to young men might be useful if they are young snobby lords in our case.
Obviously, from your position, Hinera, even though it's not House Ignis, they are obviously allied. Well, they're sworn to House Ignis, and House Ignis have had a history with your house and your mother's family as well. So they're not necessarily allies of your house.
Yeah.
But that being said, let's go over to the Head's Heavy Rest, where you all awaken and are treated again to just it's kind of like fairly middle class amenities. After having some food and sort of presenting yourselves downstairs, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna get us a table. It's about time we talk about our next steps.
Right. So, we got this, what was it, Emerald Armory thing to go off to.
We've got that. I'd rather... I have that and the sewers to look into.
The sewers in particular. Oh, right, yeah. Probably best you do that without me.
Yes. Do you want to... Would you rather go to the Emerald Armory on your own, or would you want me with you?
Well, I mean, I've got some work to do as well, so I'd be best... Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter to me. I don't mind.
I'll come with
Hope
you
you
to
like
the
it.
Emerald Armory. There, maybe if we learn something about these golems, we can learn some other things as well.
Oh,
Might-
FYI, sorry. So Cascus and Hinera, if you wanted to just meet up with the rest of the party at any time, just jump in.
Yeah, I think the plan would be to go to the council next on our side, but
Okay, cool.
maybe after that.
That's cool.
I think definitely after that.
Yeah, I know that you didn't make any plans necessarily to like meet up at any point, but
Okay.
just feel free that if you want to come find them,
Okay.
you know where they're based. So
Excellent. That sounds good.
and vice versa, I guess. You did let them know where you're staying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
Well, I reckon maybe we swing by the Emerald Armory together, then maybe you go do a little recon, and maybe
Sounds good to me.
I'll go into the Undercity and take a look at this gauntlet. Maybe try and suss it out, see what prep we might need to do.
Be careful there. If it's any... That's where the gangs are. They might think you're a fool. Whether or not you are when it comes to criminals is anyone's guess, but keep a close eye on your coin purse.
I'm no stranger to a dodgy street. I'll
Right.
keep it tucked away.
So you want to head over to the Emerald Armory then first?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you go for a walk across the Dawn Road, passing through the Gardens of Honor, which are is kind of a wood that is well tended to. You notice a lot of priests and servants are meticulously caring for the plants in the garden as you walk past them. A number of them are sort of on their knees, kind of muttering something under their breath. Like it's the first time you don't really hear them talk that often. Obviously, Hanera had one of the priests in the past say something weird to her. But as you walk past them, they're sort of like praying as they're gardening. But it's an incredibly well tended garden, full of ancient trees, which are absolutely huge. Their roots kind of spilling out over the stone road that you walk through. But it's a sunny day, and it's very very nice little walk. Especially seeing a lot of the boats in the bay. Just going along their business. Some people going for like kind of pleasure cruises. You see a couple of you see every now and again like a noble, like noble boats just moored up, with what seems to be quite influential members of society drinking. Bards playing music on there. Occasionally, people reciting long quotes of poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But you arrive eventually at the Emerald Armory. So, nestled within the heart of Lenora's central district lies the Emerald Armory. You come across a huge building of exquisite craftsmanship. A sign above the entrance reads the Emerald Armory in this kind of flowing Elvish script. The workshop's double doors, crafted from kind of shimmering jade, swing open silently as you step inside. Inside, the interior is this kind of mesmerizing blend of artistry and functionality. Elven artisans wearing intricate robes, kind of designed for their own safety. Like it's kind of made of some sort of thick material you can't quite place.
Almost like a blacksmith's apron kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. But it's still got like a sort of style to it. It looks quite nice. But it has been, dusted with soot and kind of ash and mess. These artisans work diligently at various crafting stations as you walk through, creating wondrous pieces of armor, weapons, magical items. A number of kind of golems stood still, just scan with this kind of eerie expression the room. And the air is filled with kind of the gentle hum of magical technology, enchantments, the fragrance of freshly polished wood and metal, and the furnaces that are burning in the corner. At the heart of the workshop, as you enter, a figure stands amidst the chaos, holding a loaded crossbow. Their black hair tied in a neat bun, to keep it away from various, I guess, parts of machinery and whatever it could get into, and glowing torches which line the walls. Around their neck lies a kind of silver amulet which glows the blue arcane magic. As you approach, they point at you, Calcifer, and they say, "Hey, you! Just stand over there a moment, will you?" And he points to a point on the workshop floor marked with an X.
Not the kind of thing you like to hear from someone holding a crossbow.
Oh, please. I'll make it worth your while.
I'm curious. All right, then.
Thank
Come
you
on,
so much.
Calcifer.
Yeah,
And on the X.
I'll comply.
So you go stand on the X, and he loads the crossbow and aims at you. He then pulls the trigger. Roll a reflex save, because obviously this is quite a startling thing for someone to just to do to you.
As he's doing that, I'm going to loudly bite into an apple. Just...
21. So you dodge quite effectively. You immediately duck to the floor, and you don't feel anything impact you. But as you look up, and after hearing the clang of the crossbow firing, you see the crossbow bolt floating in the air, maybe like a couple of feet away from you, about a meter from the X where you stand.
Is that towards him or the other side of where I am?
It's towards him. So
right,
yeah, he's fired the crossbow,
and
it
stopped before it reached me.
Yeah, it just stopped. It's just like floating in the air. The figure jumps in the air with excitement and rushes over, plucking the bolt out of the air, and puts it away in a bag. "Oh, I'm so glad that worked. I'm not sure it was going to," he says.
Yeah, I can't say I would have loved if it hadn't. What's the use of that anyway?
Well, they walk back over to a bench where they've been working on some sort of strange piece of technology. They pick it up and walk it over to you. It seems to be a small band of some sort held onto a mannequin's kind of torn off arm, wrapped around it. with an enchanted yellow gem in the middle. There's he hands it over to you just to have a look at, and you notice inside the gem there's small intricate clockwork sort of spinning things that you can see spinning within it. And after a moment, the clockwork begins to slow down, and then the gem turns green again. The figure says, "Lorandon's the name. How can I help?"
Brandon.
Yeah, it came in looking for you.
Yeah, you're actually the one we came here to find.
I think we might have some of yours, and kind of reach in and show the runes that we found.
He takes it off your hands. He says, "No. What's this from?"
Do you have somewhere private we can talk?
This is the most private place of all for me. Don't worry, everyone else here is on board with my with my innovations. Let's say.
Fair enough.
We were traveling into the city, and these two waylaid us on the way over.
To what?
Two of your golems.
Well, yeah, two big uns.
Takes out a set of Lorandon takes out a set of kind of eyeglasses and holds it quite close to him, having a look at it. "Well, that is surely my name," he says as he hands it back to you. "But it's not my work. See why you'd be confused. I am too. It's a good forgery."
Huh.
Not you. Why would they have your name? Frame you, perhaps?
I do not know. Someone's been playing with my brand. I assure you, my work would have been much more difficult to overcome.
Any opposing runesmiths in the city that might want your name tarnished?
I hold a little bit of a monopoly in this town. Not everyone is such a fan of the innovations that I've created.
A lot of people don't like monopolies.
How about political enemies?
Enemies? He rubs his chin. Well, there are those who dislike the work we do here. There's a group in this city who have attempted to burn this place down many times.
What, dislike like the automation aspect of it, or just something else, or what?
I never took them that seriously. They're known as the Fold. They can be found in the River District. Pompous tree huggers.
Tree huggers. We
They're
did
run by-
find...
Go on.
We did find some roots and bits of tree in the golems we were fighting.
Well, all I know about them is that they're run by a figure known as Ren. That's all I know of her. From the letters I occasionally receive. As for anyone else, I tend to have more allies than enemies in the city.
Good position to be in.
I doubt they'd be responsible for your golem problem. I suppose it's my golem problem too, if they're just trying to frame me. He breathes onto his glasses and gives them a bit of a wipe, and then returns them back into his pocket. Considering my good name is being run into the dirt. Ha!
Can I sense motive on whether he's being honest about these being forgeries?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a perception check.
20.
Seems to be honest. If you'd like, you can have a look at the letters. I keep them in my office.
What letters? From the Fold?
The various threats I get from them every now and again. I've started to collect them.
That might be a good idea.
I find them quite funny, to be honest. He takes you off into the into the back of the office, into the back of the workshop. Taking you into his office, which is full of mess. It's just full of like half-made contraptions and just trash. He says, "You haven't introduced yourselves, by the way. What's your name and business?"
I'm
You
Calcifer.
can, you can call me Van Ale.
I can call you that very well. I'm glad for the permission. He reaches into a kind of box that he keeps locked away on the bottom drawer of his desk, and pulls out this kind of lockbox that he opens up with a key in his bag. There's 5 letters he pulls out. Here they are. And he hands them over to you. Feel free to have them. I've enjoyed my fun with them, but rereading them over and over again doesn't do so well for my self-esteem.
Oh,
I
well,
just sort of sift through them, just like looking for, like, just get the general gist.
yeah.
Just skim, like a few seconds skim per one.
Yeah, I'll just post them into the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Blasphemous.
God of the
Balance
truth,
will
I
be
guess, yeah.
restored. You thought your arrow catches and golem.
Take it these guys aren't really a big fan of these what are they called, the Stone Watch, is it?
Stone Guard.
Stone Guard.
Well, I don't know what their fuss is about. It's kept this city safe for generations.
I think they're worth having a look at. This Forgotten Grove. Where's that?
That's in the River District.
Right, okay.
The tunnel towards the River District's over here.
Right, okay. So I think they are worth looking into. That said, why don't they like your golems? Because they're blasphemous somehow.
My great grandfather was the originator of the Stone Watch. Stone Watch, was it?
Stone Guard.
Stone Guard. There you go. You've confused me now. My grandfather was the originator of it. He discovered the technology from an ancient temple.
And they want the past to stay buried?
What's that again?
Do they want the past to stay buried? Is that
Hang on,
what's
2
going
seconds.
on?
Sorry, say that again.
So they want the past to stay buried?
They seem to dislike any kind of technology that keeps us safe.
So they're definitely a suspect, but I don't know how high up they'll be. If they dislike your golems so much, then why use them?
I don't know. I guess they would argue that the best kind of defense is those by the elves. But it sounds like they are planning on ruining my good name if they are hijacking my creations.
They're definitely worth looking into.
Yeah.
Calcifer, should we look into them tomorrow or later tonight?
Maybe. not a big fan of the idea of more of those things roaming around the countryside. You know, we ended up all right, but most groups would have been squished.
Can you describe them to me? What sort of golems were they?
There were these like big, they were like stone with like roots and stuff throughout them. I think they had moss on them as well.
They had the
Um,
runes in
and
the
I will-
backs.
I will continue to give a more, probably a more accurate description based on
Yeah.
him having
Yeah,
actually
that's
seen
cool.
them versus me
Yeah,
just
he-
remembering description.
That's cool. He says, interesting. That does sound like creations of mine.
Yeah, didn't he go missing?
Well, once I have been paid and my work has been done, I have very little to do with the actual maintenance and upkeep of them. I do have a log of how many there are in the city, but you would have to compare that with the council's records, I suppose.
Why would there be a forged stone but a legitimate golem?
To tarnish his name.
Do you make the golems? Do you make the golems too? Are they inherently like arcane themselves, or is it just the rune that supplies everything?
It's the rune that gives them power.
So you could
But-
pretty much stick this on a vaguely golem-shaped rock, and it'll do its job.
Well, it takes a little bit more than that, but in essence, yes. I would say if they had been using the golems that I have created and they wish to control them, it would make more sense for them to change the rune.
Maybe it means someone's reverse engineered it.
Potentially.
Maybe your secret's not a family secret anymore. You know.
Well, he points to the amulet that's glowing on his neck. He says, "This is really my insurance. This assures that I have the final say and control over them, if need be. So, if they changed out the rune, then I would no longer have control over them."
Right.
But for that security, for that sort of insurance and security, I am paid very, very well for it, and I have found great success. And the Padrin respects my expertise on this matter.
Probably means you must hold a little bit of well, I mean, if you didn't have a good relationship with the Padrin, it might cause a bit of tension, right? So given the power you've got, if these, let's say you were someone else, someone more rebellious, let's say.
Well, I've never been one for politics. My family have discovered that doing a good job and remaining outside of the fold of politics has kept us successful and able to continue going. If it became known that I was trying to leverage my power, I'm sure I wouldn't have had as much success as I have currently.
Not a
So
bad
I let
place
the
to be.
I give the High Lords their due. They pay me for a service, and I provide it. Once the service is paid, I do not mess with it. But there is also that, at least that insurance of, well, if I go, then all of the protection of the city tends to go as well.
Do you make that yourself, or is that like passed down?
I will refuse to answer that question.
Fair enough.
I'm
Can
sorry, I do
I
not know you
sense
well enough.
motives?
I mean, apparently some of your secrets are being lost. You're not looking to lose any more, right?
Can I sense motive as he said that? I refuse to answer that. Like, does he seem like rather offended by it,
or
He doesn't seem offended. He seems quite interested in the fact there's an orc here. Like you can see he's kind of studying you and just sort of looking you up and down, quite interested. And he also seems quite excited about the fact that people are asking him questions. You know, not many elves tend to appear here.
Just likes to talk about the thing that he's excited, passionate about.
Yeah.
It's a special thing. Right. So we have some things we need to follow up on.
Was it Cadell or Isolde that told us about him?
I think it was.
I think it was Isolde. Cadell, I think, just wanted to. Yeah. Was it on the way to the Savas that we were attacked?
Yeah, it was when you were coming out the mountain.
Did she say she knew him personally, or was it just she knew of him?
She knew of him.
Okay.
He is a famous figure in the city.
Yeah. It was just the idea of, like, would dropping her name be something he'd recognize, or would I know that he would?
No, you don't know. She didn't say.
Okay.
I think she just said that she knew of him.
Okay, I won't then.
Is there anything you would like to buy whilst you're here?
what have you got on stock?
I have, well, my my people work on general kind of magic weapons and armor. But we also have potions and scrolls and the like for those who occasionally come here who do know a bit about magic.
I was looking to actually get my armor etched, but I'm a little short on the gold at the moment.
What sort of thing are you thinking about?
Just your basic, your basic fundamental. Not what's it? I've forgotten what it's called. What's it actually called? I have it in my thing. Just your basic potency rune.
Well, that could be done for you. I don't necessarily care that much about money if you prefer to do something for me.
What kind of task are you looking for? I'm pretty good with a hammer myself.
I like stabbing things.
Might not match up to you or some of your best round here, but I can hold my own.
Well, if you're interested in finding out this business with the fold and making sure that I am not going to find myself at the end of a blade at some point in the future, then I'd be happy to do that for you.
Alright. Can't promise anything, but we, we'll might take a look.
And if you happen to find out who this Ren figure is, and you happen to bring them to me, I might have an even better reward for you.
Alright. Keep an eye out. Again, no promises, but
Very well.
set of eyes
Well,
and ears.
I hope those letters come in handy.
Mike,
Yeah, go on.
why is there a shield token above the Emerald Armory?
Oh,
that's
that's
Calcifer.
Calcifer, because he has
right, okay.
that's his shield ally. That's a permanent effect on him.
Right. Okay. I was confused. Like, was the armory getting attacked and?
No, yeah, it's just part of Calcifer's token. Right, so you make your excuses to leave, and after a little bit, you exit.
Cool.
Who wants to go next? Anyone have anything they want to do?
Right, well, I'll
So, sorry, come.
yeah, if you want to go scout out the
Oh yeah, I still
sewers,
have the sewers to
I'll
look
head off
into.
to I'll head off to the this gauntlet, check it out. Maybe we'll meet back up later. See you.
Yeah, but if anyone wants to do stuff, like I can do the sewer stuff after.
Yeah, all right. So whilst you
Oh,
two
yeah,
are
I was just-
traveling,
Yeah, I was just saying that so it's like a thing
Yeah.
of where we're both off to at this point.
cool. So you make your you part ways and begin the process of heading towards where you want to go. Cascus, Sinera?
Yes. So I think between Anira and I, we're reasonably clear we're going to go to the council next, and have a look at this green hold, like kind of present ourselves formally, and see if we can kind of glance it a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Anira had any other
I was thinking we could go and try and tell them that we've got this letter from Merchant Prince, and ask for a meeting on that basis with the patron and his council, and then once we go, I'll present the second letter from Isolde once we're there.
I totally agree with that plan, but I do wonder slightly about the second letter from Isolde. I just don't want to put her and her in any jeopardy if this letter is just going to go straight into the hands of Darren Kaidas and.
Oh, I was gonna read it.
Oh, I agree. I hope you are not overly surprised by the content of the missive.
Yeah. When we're trying to get an appointment, shall I say who I am?
That is totally up to you. I do not want to compromise your
Yeah, I was
your
sort of
identity if
hoping
that's gonna
to
cause problems.
hold my to keep it a secret until the Oh, sorry, I was just confused. I was just reading. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was hoping to keep it a secret until they've done the vault stuff, or they know what they're doing. So maybe we should wait until the vault stuff is done, or until they have a plan, before we go to the council.
Cassius kind of sits down and ponders. I do not have a strong view on this. Perhaps it is a question we should bring to the group.
Yeah, I just don't really want to meet up.
I think it is imperative that I come with somebody with a degree of credibility. I think
The letter you have from the Merchant Prince should be enough credibility for at least you to pass the message.
Okay. Can we not? Could we try and arrange? Could we try and push for a meeting of some description?
You can try whatever.
Yeah, we'll try that. Okay, I won't. It's just when I go there, some of the people might recognize me anyway.
Could you do we have any disguise self or anything? Do you? If that's something you want to do.
No, I don't mind it. It's just I don't want to.
I mean, you don't have to go. I mean, if you don't feel like that's a good choice.
Yeah, I am just worried that if something goes wrong with the vault stuff, there's gonna be because they
Because you're
find
going to
out
be
that
needed for it.
I'm involved. No, if I'm involved in it, they might attack my family.
Well, then you wouldn't want to be involved in the. Oh, I see. You wouldn't be involved in any of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think at some point it is going to come out that you are part of our group. No.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess.
I think it is only a matter of time. We are known in certain parts of this country already. If we
Okay.
continue to
Yeah.
make a name, it's gonna come out.
You could come. I mean, if you just a suggestion, you could always come up with an alter ego or something.
Yeah, you can do that. You superhero now.
Just
Malurial Jane.
Yeah, you could do an alter ego. That's a good shot.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what you want to be called?
Memphis Callahan.
Memphis Callahan.
Yeah.
Such strange arcane words.
And what does Callahan mean? Is it a house?
I don't know. It's a human name, isn't it?
But you are an elf.
Oh, I thought we were disguising ourselves. Okay. No. All right. I
You
need
could
more
just. I mean,
elf
do you have
names.
do you have disguise self?
If you have disguise self, you can go to human. That's fine. I just didn't
I
think you did.
don't have disguise self.
You just
I was thinking of like the disguises kit, but I don't think that's that's not a thing, is it? In
You can always just try and make a disguise. I mean,
Yeah.
just dye your hair and like fucking wear
cut
some.
off your
You
ears.
can just put glasses on.
Yeah.
You're invisible.
Yeah,
Cut
Yeah.
off my ears. Nah. I won't bother making a disguise. I'll just if anyone recognizes, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go and dye my hair. I'll do that. I'll be sad about it. But
I suggest this is one for our friend Serafina to suggest, and I suggest you ask delicately. But I'm sure they will support, discretion.
okay, yeah, I'll go and find Serafina.
Okay. The barkeep is just tending to some plants when you find her. She turns to you. How can I help?
Good morning. I was interested in getting my hair done. I was wondering if there was a place you would recommend.
Oh, yes. Well, there's a place in the Sun District nearby. We'll be able to find it. It is the only barbers in the area.
Okay.
What sort of thing are you thinking about? It's just a lot of people tend to travel with servants that do that sort of thing.
Well, we don't have the dye, so we don't travel with dye because I was gonna dye my hair. I just
Oh.
feel like it, you know. I'm having a creative moment.
I thought you were going to say midlife crisis.
That's why I thought you were going as well.
She
I mean, if
says,
you're an adventurer, every day is a midlife crisis.
I'm very optimistic if you're having a midlife crisis at what, like 20 as an elf.
well, the life of adventure is not very long, is it? Generally.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So, is that where you're headed?
Unless you can tell me somewhere like we can buy hair dye, I can have Cascas do it.
If you want to guarantee it's done quite well, it'll cost
Yeah.
you. But
Do I
obviously,
know-
like it'll be based on a roll if Cascas does it.
How much would get my hair dyed? Like black, I guess, probably be the best color.
Are you asking Serafina?
Yeah.
A standard haircut that is suitable. Probably no more than a gold piece.
Okay, thank you.
That obviously is quite expensive. Like for a normal person, a gold piece is like a week's wages.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you head into the Sun District, following the instructions that she gives you. Eventually, you come up to a quite fancy looking building on the main road, named Ilaria's Enchanted Tresses. Entering, you see a number of seats, various basins for washing hair in. There's a couple of noble ladies just in the distance, having some sort of kind of glowing gems around their head, drying their hair as they sort of sit reading magazines as you enter. One of the people working there comes up to you. Good day, my lady. This is welcome to Alara's Enchanted Tresses. How can I help?
Hello, I'm looking for a new hairdo. I'd quite like it cut and washed and dyed black.
She sort of begins kind of touching your hair and kind of feeling it. Says, "Well, you do have such beautiful hair, but black, is it? It's not. It's not so common in this part of the world."
Okay. I did not know that. Uh yeah, this is me to Mike. I'm thinking of dyeing it the same color as my sister's husband, Tanzine Malfire, and then saying that I'm his cousin, because then I would, if they ask me about my background, I still know a bit, and then also I'm still a little bit important, but not really important enough to be made a fuss of. So I was thinking of dyeing it his hair color, which in my head was black, but if it's not common, it's probably not.
Well, it's not common amongst the nobles of this city. But if you're going to pretend to be someone from afar, then you can change your hair to any color, you know.
Okay, we'll go dark brown.
Dark brown. Fair enough. Also, did you just say all that? Just to, like say that later.
No, I was saying it to you.
Okay, that's fine.
said it
I just
before.
that's fine. Okay, fine. I'm just double checking. So she takes you and she says, "Dark brown it is," and sits you down on the chair. Is there any sort of cut you would like, or is it just dyeing?
What's popular?
Well, your hair does look quite. Sort of runs her fingers through it. Worn. You do not do not take offence to this, my lady, but it does seem like you have been on the road for a while.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'd like it to be in nice condition, so maybe like shoulder length, if that is like
Very
cut
well.
off all the bits off
Uh,
that are.
I will neaten it up a little for you. How about that?
Thank you.
She says, and I will apply a little bit of heat, as it is well, how do you prefer to have it straight or wavy?
Just wavy. Whatever it is naturally.
Very
Which is
well.
straight. So yeah, straight.
Okay, very well. She begins to cut it. Cascus, what are you doing during this time? Just waiting outside, chilling.
He's sitting on the husband chairs that they
I think
have.
so. He's twiddling his
Named in
fingers.
the hairdresser.
Yeah, there's some motorbike magazines.
He sat next to some elf who's like with his partner. First time.
the elf turns to you and says, "No." It looks really like shell shocked. Just by having sat there for so long.
So, you like the games? Is it called the Gauntlet?
Have you seen the game recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gauntlet. You can ask
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Have you gone to the Gauntlet recently? That's what
He
us
looks-
red blood men like.
He kind of looks a bit disgusted, really. He says, "I would not dare disdain myself by going into the Undercity. What do you take me for?"
Me neither. I was just testing. You know, folk around here. Always refined. We must discover and remove those who are not. You know.
He laughs and says, "Oh, I get it now.
Ah.
Funny joke. You humans are funny."
It kind of settles into an awkward silence that you get often in a barber shop.
Okay.
And my
So
hand brushes against his knife.
after a little while, the hairdresser takes out some glowing kind of bit of technology, elven technology, and just begins to rub it against your hair. That
Mine,
just applies a bit of
hello.
heat to it. No, not yours, Henry. Sorry. Yeah, you're sat there just doing your hair as well.
Oh, sorry.
And after a while, it kind of straightens it out, fixes some of the split ends that you've accrued from your weathered walks on the road. After 30 minutes, 40 minutes, she begins to, after cutting it, she then dyes it. So yeah, an hour and a half later, you return back to Cascus, who is sat in a very awkward silence with the elven gentleman next to him, who's still waiting. You look over, and the two ladies who are sat in the distance, their hair's been done for ages. They're just chatting. He's just waiting. And you pay, and
Yeah.
you're done.
Oh,
Just-
where is Senira? I cannot see her. I mean, what's your name now? What are you going by?
Oh,
Memphis,
yeah,
Is it
Memphis.
Memphis?
Callahan.
No, not Callahan. I decided to change it to Malfire, which is my sister's husband's name.
Okay.
Very well.
It suits you, Miss Malfire.
It could just be MM for short.
How much is it?
Eminem.
Mother's milk.
So we should probably get moving.
Okay, so you begin heading off to the Greenhold. You make your way through Arms Square, heading up the grand staircase up to the inner kind of sanctum. There's a couple of guards who are waiting, who stop you and search you. What is your business?
Good morning, afternoon. Where are
Midday.
we?
Good midday.
Good midday. My name is Akaskis Apovrif, and this is my traveling companion and fellow envoy, Memphis Malfire. Terms to Enira. And we are envoys sent on behalf of the merchant prince Axos Kutaband. We seek an audience with the council and the patron at your earliest of convenience. I come with proof and hands the kind of the missive, but doesn't kind of like let it go, but like holds it kind of thing.
He takes it, has a look at it, and this is a letter for the council.
That is correct. We are under instruction to deliver it orally, personally.
Very well. Come with me. The one of the guards nods to the other, who stands to attention and salutes as the guard leads you through towards the Greenhold. He speaks to someone, another guard, and relieves that guard, who then begins to guide you up the steps. As you get to the top of the steps, he says, "For the council's safety, you must leave any weapons, of course."
Oh, of course, of course. Kind of, the road is long and dangerous, and I take a couple select items. So he pulls out a short sword, but the sword cane he keeps.
Yeah.
To hand over.
Just using it as a cane.
Yep.
Okay. When they get to...
Does Nira have any weapons, or is she like just like sorry, just
Oh yeah, I do. Oh, sorry, I was just complying, so I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, strange how he suddenly develops a limp anytime there's someone who might
Yeah.
confiscate his weapon around.
Yeah.
I assume Cascus kind of carries a cane around like how aristocrats used to carry a cane where they didn't really need it. It was just
It's like a
it's just something to have in your hand, I
it's
guess.
like a pimp cane.
You said it, not me. You get to the top of the steps, and you overhear the guard saying to the other one, "Is the Keel in session?" And the guard says, "Yes, he is taking taking messages from the royal court." And so the guard nods to the other. It turns to you and says, "The Keel is currently sitting on the seat of the Padre. He would see you."
Is it possible to have he kind of like minced his words, I guess he's just kind of like carried through. What he's meaning to say is there a moment where there's like the patron there and others as well?
Well, the whole royal court won't be
fine,
about.
we'll be there. Fine, okay.
He'll be on the throne, like doing the whole royal sort of.
Okay,
business.
awesome, good stuff. Okay, cool. Let's yeah.
Very well. So, you're led through past the chambers of the council, into the palace of the prophet. through the main grand entrance into a grand hallway, which is sort of a circular hallway, arched roofs. All across the roof are thousands and thousands of murals and kind of bits of art, like absolutely beautiful works of art all over the ceiling, kind of like the Sistine Chapel. It's the whole archway is made of marble, held together by these incredibly well-made, like works of masonry, and around the main throne, which sits in the far end of the grand hall, you see like statues of. It seems to be about 50 elven, what you assume to be previous padrons. Just sort of looking all around the room, into the center. You see about maybe 20 or 30 people in the hallway as you're in the hall as you enter. The in the distance, you see on the grand throne is a elderly man or elderly elf with white hair, looking quite weathered and beaten down. He's got large bags under his eyes, and his skin's kind of grey and old. With a kind of his hair is greyish blonde, cut very short on the top of his head. But he carries himself with a sense of pride for his work, it seems. And he's currently overhearing a couple of people asking him to set up an inn in a town nearby. He says, "Very well. The Padron will send some money to build this work. Having infrastructure in our towns is important in this modern age." And the two people say, thank you, my lord. That is most gracefully accepted, and provide our thanks to the Padron." He says, "Very well." After a moment, there's a couple of people in queue, so you're just sort of waiting behind.
Can I kind of like analyze the protocol that's used to like initiate?
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Well, we're
Yeah, so as the people in front of you have their petition heard, they nod to the Padron, and then they get on their knees and bow, not to him, but to the statue that's next to him, which is the current Padron. What seems to be a statue of quite a young boy. And after a moment, they stand and give their petition. Daeron Kaidas, who's currently sat on the seat, listens to them with attentiveness and care. He, from what you can tell, he seems to generally err on the side of favor. And after a moment, they go, and you're called forward.
And just before, can I just get a sense quickly of who? I mean, it's hard to know because I only know names, not faces. But can I do a bit of a check just to kind of get a feel for who else is there? Does it feel like everyone that we've heard of so far and that we've kind of noted is in the room in session? You know, is somebody taking the note? Does it look like
there seems to be mostly bureaucrats and priests around.
Okay.
There are a couple of what seem to be nobles, just sat observing, and just stood around watching. But it's very hard to tell who is who. There's older elves, men, women, younger elves as well. There's a couple of children stood in the distance watching.
Okay. So I kind of look to Hanira and I suppose bow to the statue of the Padron. Stand, and were people kind of bowing to, as a kind of formality to Darius as well?
Yeah, it was more like a sort of shallow bow to Daeron Kaidas.
Okay.
And like a really sort of quite exaggerated, prostrated bow to the statue of the Padron.
Okay, fine. We're gonna do a make an impression as we as you know. Is it my lord?
Yes, he's lord.
Okay. My lord, my name is Kaskis Povrif, and I am sent on behalf of Axos Kutubad, the merchant prince, to deliver a missive. With me is my traveling companion, and then I introduce.
Memphis Malfire.
You see him raise an eyebrow at that.
Memphis, Tennessee.
He says,
Can I do
"Very
my
well.
make
Yeah, say your piece."
Hold on. I'm also going to do. I'm going to use a legend point on this roll. So 33. Make an impression.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
So he says, "You come with a message."
That is correct. If my lord will permit me, I would like to read it out for the council to hear. Before I do, it is worth noting that we were deployed by the Merchant Prince's pleasure to act as envoys to put right what is a grave injustice, and an action so destabilizing it will bring increased instability to both the great nation of Akate, Rotarana, and the human denizens that are so lucky to call it their place of habitation at the moment.
Okay. So you present the letter, take it out of your bag. It's well travelled at this point,
Yeah.
but it still carries the seal. A guard comes over and just looks it over. He turns to the to the keel, Darren Kodos, and says, "The seal comes from the merchant territories, which is unbroken." Darren Kodos nods. If you do not mind.
Oh, is that to me?
Yeah. So are you
Okay.
just going to read it out?
Yeah. So I'm gonna read it out. Yeah.
Cool.
Can you read it out?
Have you got? Did I give you?
No, I don't think we have a.
No.
sword.
Yeah. I don't think I have one.
Okay.
But it's fine. You read it out. It basically lays out the case from Axis Kutaban on the need for help against the banking guild. That it could just destabilize everything. Darren Kodos sits. If he has any ulterior motive or if he has any opinions on the matter, he keeps it well hidden. You can do an insight check if you'd like.
I'd like to, and I'd also like to see how other people in the room potentially react. And I don't know if Nero wants to aid on that. I feel like we'd both be doing it.
Cool. Just make me a general perception check.
Okay.
And if you want to do a perception check, Hanera as well. Cool. That's a +2. Is it a +1? Is it it's just a success? So.
Yeah.
Okay. You notice a number of the priests and various bureaucrats start writing down, scribbling it out. Cascus, Darren Kodos doesn't seem necessarily phased.
Okay.
He sits forward. Oh, God.
If he's gonna do something, I'll wait for him to do it.
But yeah, he sits forward and sort of puts his hand over his eyes a little bit and just gives them a tired rub. He says, "This is a matter that I will have to put towards the council. You understand? I do not have the authority to make decisions on this matter alone."
Understood.
Where is it that you are staying, so I can send people to contact you when we come to our decision?
My lord, I understand there are many people here who would like to see people like myself not here. Is there a way I can deliver my location a little more discreetly into your...
Very well. Give your information to... He calls forward one of the bureaucrats. Elena, come forward. She walks forward. Elena. She is wearing a sort of standard white kind of cleric's robe, elven style. She says, "If you do not mind coming with me." Darren Kodos stands and dismisses you.
Okay.
She walks you into a side room where she takes down your details. So are you going to give her the might and fine?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And are you going to hand over the letter?
Yes, I assume the information is kind of, you know.
It's out there now.
Yeah, but I guess my only concern is that what happens, like, if we lose that, because I think that missive is not just for the pageant, right? I thought it was also for like lords around the rest of the continent, if that makes sense. Because presumably we're going to be repeating this message to different lords, high lords, and people.
Yeah, but we've broken the seal now, so we'd have to get another one.
Hmm.
Wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to take it.
she says, if you require me to contact anyone else, we can do that from here.
I'd be most grateful if you could resend this message to all of the great houses of Adana. That would be preferable. And to relay that, I don't know, how would be best, like, be told if there was any response?
I can contact you at your place of residence.
Very good, thank you. Any more, Henira? Any thoughts?
I assume you meant Memphis.
Yes, I did. I did.
It's a nickname.
Oh yeah, it's my middle name.
Memphis Hanera Malfoy.
Oh, fire. Very suspicious.
Yeah, Memphis totally not Hanera Trisper Malfoy.
Yeah, that's okay. And as we is that all fine? Have we left?
If there's anything else you
Well,
require,
I mean, if I could, like, sorry, I don't know. I'd be intrigued to get a bit more. I feel like bureaucrats are a pretty useful tool. So I don't know if, like, I can just ask some general questions and try and just not like maybe just be a little charismatic with the bureaucrat and see if I can get any details for her. So in the event I have anything further I want to talk to them about or like mention to them, there's like a point of contact I can go to, if that makes sense.
ask what you make a diplomacy check and then ask whatever questions you got.
Yeah. Pretty good. 35.
Ooh.
What questions do you have?
So I am planning on being in Kelris for a little while. It would be good to understand who to contact and how to contact the office of the Keel and the council more broadly. In the event anything further comes to light, perhaps through someone like yourself.
She raises an eyebrow. I'm gonna do an insight check.
Insight. It's just
She's gonna do it.
Oh, I mean, it's a genuinely like. I'm not trying to deceive her.
No, I know, but she's
Okay, pursuely. Sorry, no. I'm doing a deception.
you can tell. Well, no, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
You can tell that she doesn't. She's suspicious of you.
Is that because I'm a human? Well, I don't know.
What's that?
Okay, fine. I will.
But there's a chance that she would just be suspicious of anyone asking that sort of question.
Fine. I mean.
She says the response she has. Make a persuasion check as well.
Is that diplomacy?
Oh yeah. Wait. What?
Was that
I
not?
don't think-
Was that not the one that you already did?
Yeah, I guess I'll just use that. She says it is uncommon for people to have back channels to say so to speak into the palace. Usually we have a standard procedure which you have followed. However, however, because this is a matter of import, I will permit you this. And she reaches into the desk and brings out 2 badges, which has the Padrin's seal on it. She says this will gain you access into the palace.
Ooh.
You are, whilst staying with us, considered ambassadors. So you will have access into the comings and goings of the court. You may be invited onto the chambers of the council, but that depends on the wish of the council.
Ooh.
You'll be most certainly asked to provide evidence at some point as to your experience of what's happened. But the council can take their time on such matters.
No worries. I am very much used to bureaucracy in the human world. But thank you. I apologize if I have broken any lines of protocol. You see, where I am new here, and the protocols that I follow are it works for us. So thank you very much. What's the second pin? Is the second one from here actually?
Yeah.
I was saying that to you, but you know what I mean. Cool. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you require?
Well, I just wanted to note that I assume I will be under escort when I will be under, within the premises.
Well, the Palace of the Prophets, people obviously do not have access to the first floor and above.
Very
But anywhere on the ground floor, you are welcome to go.
well. We will respect those boundaries.
But yes, there will be guards posted, so do
Mate,
not
we could do an
break any
awesome
of our
heist.
rules.
We could do an awesome heist because, we can now get a grip of what's going on there and the layout and write it down for for the other guys. Oh, that's cool. Carry on.
She says, no, I'm joking.
It's like, you fucking what?
Yeah, Casca's just. I mean, it's kind of like Baldur's Gate, where party members just talk openly about stuff right in front of the enemies.
Yeah.
It's just Casca's turns to Nera. We could do an awesome heist here. Yeah, no.
Sure.
She
Okay,
says, I hope that is of help. We do also have an archives if you require any other additional information. There are members of the bureaucracy that can help there as well.
Thank you very much.
She nods and shows you out.
Thank you. Okay. Once we're walking, I say, like, talk Cascus. Okay, so just a question about Isolde's letter. Was that supposed to be presented in front of the council? We
Yeah.
got in there and I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
can't remember.
She said to present it in front of the council because she needs the whole council to know about this.
And now that we have passes in, I feel like we can probably socialize it a bit more effectively anyway. So yeah, that's sorry. I should have picked up on that's my fault. Yes, we will do that. And we
Cool.
might-
All right. So as you leave, let's go to Cyan.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to the toilet.
Cool.
Or maybe we could have a break.
Oh yeah, actually is. It's a good time
shout.
for a break. Let's have a break.
All
Right, we'll come back in 15 minutes.
All right.
All right. See you in 15. Our little succulent
You fucking
Friends,
say it.
friends,
You fucking
friends.
round. And...
Just end the. I need a pee. Go.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back. Don't know why I kind of went weirdly Scottish there, but anyway. Right, so just before the break, Cascus and Hinera had gone to the Palace of the Prophet, where they were introduced, I guess, kind of to Daeron Kaidos, and provided the information that they had been sent by the Adana Merchant Company to send.
Oh, I would like to change my name of the Mountain Fine Inn as well.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Okay. So what's your plans now? Oh, we're going to Cyan, aren't we?
Yeah.
So okay, so all right, so going to Cyan, you've travelled your way down into the south of the central district, past a garrison of Garenia guards who are just sat around lazily looking out into the bay, not really paying much attention. It's quite obvious in the brief time that you've spent in this city that the guards have elected to just allow the Stone Watch, Stone Guard, who occasionally walk around, but mostly just stand there, just watching passively. They elect to let them do most of the peacekeeping, and they just sort of sit around their garrisons, most of them drinking. Make me a society check, actually.
Society. Just a moment. Society. That's a 23.
Yeah, so from what you know, from what you remember out of the Garenia, they are all nobles. There aren't any lowborn who work for them. So the actual guards who are walking around are all part of the gentry in some way. Which is probably why they're not that interested in actually doing any decent work, and that's why they're mostly drinking. So anyway, going underneath the large archway leading to Arms Square, you follow the road on the map, and eventually there's a drain, kind of grate, off in the distance, hidden in the shadows. Not that many people walking past this area. You give it a test, and you realise that the drain is attached to the sort of tunnel that goes down into the sewers by a locked, a lock. Yeah, it's a locked gate.
Well, I'm going to pull out my lockpicks and have a go at it.
Okay, yeah, give me a thieves' tools check. Is it thieves' tools?
Thievery.
Thievery, yeah. Natural 20.
Fuck yeah!
So it is a well-made lock, but the grate itself is rusted and just generally not that well looked after. But you manage to. The hardest part is kind of slipping your hand through the bars and doing it from the other way because it's locked from the other side.
Right.
But after a little moment, having a look around, make me a stealth check as well, and send it to me.
Check.
Yeah, send it to me blind as well. No one's really looking out for you, from what you can tell, but there's always your. Oh, natural 20.
Oh fuck yeah!
Da-da-da.
I am
Alright.
the knight.
Yeah, so in a flurry of just a mere moment, you sort of lean casually against the bars, and with one hand, you just click the thing open. The gate opens up, and do you go?
Yeah, I go in.
Okay. All right, so you enter the sewers. It's quite dank and quite nasty. There's a sort of slow-moving slurry of excrement making its way out into the water below. As you walk down the sewer, you find yourself sort of coming underneath Square, and it's absolutely silent, except for the occasional dripping of water. You can't. It's hard to see here. It's pretty much pitch black.
I do have superior dark vision. I don't know if that helps.
Actually, it might do. Hang on.
Because I am a shadow dancer.
Yeah, no, that's fine then in that case. So sneaking through, I'll just use your stealth check for this. So you
Alright.
sneak down into the sewers and follow it in the way that Cadell described, taking a couple of turns here and there, and eventually you round a corner and you see two figures talking to each other in the distance. One of them,
Alright,
one of them seems to be an old elf who looks worn with short, kind of greyish blonde hair, talking to a cloaked figure. Their voices are, they're not talking necessarily so quietly. Their voices are echoing, but they're obviously having a secret meeting of some sort.
I'm gonna have a listen in.
All right, make me a perception check.
Perception. Just a regular one or a blind one?
Do a blind one.
Blind.
Okay. You listen in and you pick up the conversation. The first figure, the older elf, says, "Our plan is proceeding, but there have been complications, as I feared. The influence over the young emperor from his mother is stronger than anticipated. The Regency Council remains unstable. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get what we want." The cloaked stranger, who is keeping their voice a little bit lower, says, "Patience, Minister Kaidas. The wheels are in motion, and our allies within the council will ensure our interests are protected. As for the Padrin's mother, I'll deal with her. The continent of Adana must be saved, even if it means bending the rules of power." You can tell now at this point that this is Daemon Kaidas speaking to the cloaked stranger. He says, "But the rogue elements. There's rumours of dissent in the Undercity. Terranar Ignis refuses to bend to my whims, even if his son does. And these unexpected occurrences from the followers of Ashad. They threaten to unravel everything we've worked for." And the cloaked stranger says, Now, the factions of Ashad are my purview, not yours, Minister. The rest is politics. Once we have what we need from them, they will have served their purpose." Darren says, "Very well. I trust that you have the situation in hand. The Whisperleaf Collective is a wild card in this. I should have known those heretics would have used their influence for the worst. There is a matter of something else." The cloaked stranger says, "Something I should know about?" And he says, "I had a meeting today with two people from the Adana Merchant Company. I do not know who they were, but one of them was using a fake name. I know the Malfires. She announced herself as Memphis Malfire." And the cloaked stranger says, "Well, it's probably worth keeping an eye on." He says, "I've sent someone to keep an eye on them. I know where they're staying." The cloaked stranger says, "Very well, Minister Kaidas. Rest assured. With the with the Whisperleaf Collective, I have a history with their goddess. They'll be dealt with in due time. As for the adventurers, they may yet unwittingly aid us. We will see." Darren Kaidas nods. "I will continue to play my part." And he bows to the cloaked stranger, who then walks through the sewers, and Darren Kaidas goes up a sort of staircase, which you assume is where you're headed.
Okay.
So you know the direction there now.
Yeah.
Once everything's settled down, do you want to have a look at the door, or?
Yeah, I want to see what kind of things like locks I'm looking at. That
Can
kind
you,
of thing.
Do you mind just putting the name of the minister's name in the chat?
That was Darren Kaidas. He was just calling him Minister Kaidas.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Fine.
Yeah. So, Sire, after you're sure that the coast is clear, you walk up to the door. You look at it. It doesn't seem to necessarily be extremely well locked. So there just seems to be a standard lock on the door, and it from what you could tell, it seemed to lead to a staircase, which went up. Like looking through the keyhole, leads. Yeah, there's a staircase that leads what you assume up to the Tower of the Keel. And the grounds around the Tower of the Keel.
Okay. Well. Shit. Well, I know where to go now, at least.
Nyx appears. What was that? Who was that? Cloaks guy.
I don't know. Shit. This is bad. Look, you need to find Cascus and Hanera and warn them both. I can't go. Calcifer can't go. You're our best bet at letting them know what they're knows.
Seems bad. I'll do it. She vanishes.
Hey, I'm gonna try and slink back. I know where I'm going now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you quite effortlessly slink back to the gate again and make your way back onto the street without anyone noticing.
Okay. Calcifer said he was going to the Undercity, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna start making my way over to him then.
Okay, so Calcifer, you descend into the depths of Lenora through the road which leads to the tunnel. There's not that many people really coming in and out. There's a couple of guards posted outside, but they're not that interested in who's coming in and out. There's a sense of quiet in these caverns. The air grows cooler and carries the faint scent of damp earth and ancient stone. The torchlight on the walls flicker against the rough hewn stone walls, casting long shadows that seem to dance to the rhythm of an underground river which passes through. Let me show you the Undercity. It's not necessarily a map, it's just a bit of art.
Alright.
The Undercity stretches out before you, a sprawling maze of dimly lit passages and forgotten chambers. The architecture here is a stark departure from the graceful arches and polished green marble on the surface. However, instead you encounter rough-hewn stone walls, uneven floors, and patches of luminescent moss that cast an eerie bioluminescent glow. Intricate carvings of Sidon history and forgotten lore adorn the walls, their meanings obscured by the passage of time and sort of worn away, really. Patches of fungi cling to the damp corners, and the sound of dripping water echoes in the distance. You can hear the faint whispers of the past reverberating through the underground passages. So there's the river that flows through. Through the heartbeat of the Undercity is the River of Whispers, an underground waterway that winds its way through the subterranean labyrinth. The river is fed by natural springs. From what you can tell, the water is clear and kind of crystal blue compared to the seawater before. And you notice a number of poorer looking elves, dipping buckets into it and having long pulley systems that just dip into the water below. You see occasionally like strange little creatures poke their head out of the water as well. Aquatic life of some sort. You walk through the Shadow Market on the way in. It's a clandestine market. Most people selling not necessarily contraband, but just stuff you wouldn't find on the top. Like lockpicks and dark clothing and things like that.
The shadiest cloak you can find.
Yeah, it's not necessarily illegal stuff. Obviously,
the hood on this is bigger than the cape.
Yeah, yeah. No, you'd probably want if you wanted to obviously find anything on the black market, you'd have to know someone. But they're just selling kind of various things that for some reason people might have a thing for. Occasionally, you can overhear walking past people like haggling for illicit goods, and you walk past one elf, a kind of young very very thin looking elf, kind of hunched over, clutching at her stomach, saying to someone manning one of the stalls, saying, "Please, please, I can't afford to pay you, but if you could just provide me with some more." He says, the person on the stall says, "If you don't pay your debts, we'll be coming for you. You have 3 days. Don't make me hurt you." She sort of nods and says, "I'll get you your money." And eventually she slinks off.
Can I keep an ear out for anyone mentioning a Kidian? Or for any slightly blue tinged skin.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Well, that's not great. That's a 12.
Sorry, I just need to plug my laptop in. 2 seconds.
Cool.
Yeah, so as she bustles past you, she has all her arms and hands and most of her face covered, really. So it's really hard to see. But she's acting in a way that is, from what you've heard from Acidian withdrawal, it's not too dissimilar.
Something to look out for. Is there any reasonable way to determine where the gauntlet is without just like asking around, or is it like a relatively signposted thing, or is it?
No, nowhere here is really signposted.
Okay. I'm trying to think what kind of. I will. Perhaps I'll purchase a cloak from someone in the market.
Okay.
Nothing expensive. And while doing it, kind of try and slip into the conversation about the gauntlet. Maybe try and figure out if they know where it might be.
Okay. Did you want just a regular clothing cloak or something that might
Just something basic.
Okay, yeah, that would
It's literally just as a thing of like I'm buying something from you, maybe a little information.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's just a silver piece.
Cool.
You find a market stall with someone just selling just dark cloaks. What question did you have? Where the gauntlet is?
Yeah.
He says that'll be on the second tier. That one will be follow the druids. That's all I can say. You'll see it.
Right. Just like kind of gesture with the cloak. Cheers.
The Temple of Forgotten Lore is what you're looking for.
Noted.
So you take the cloak, you go up a winding staircase cut into the rock, from probably thousands and thousands of years ago. This, from what you have sort of picked up, the Undercity is actually the original city of Lenora. This is where the original elves, before the city above was built, used to live.
Right.
And so it has a history from all the way, probably, to the Age of Gods. But at least it was very much in the Dark Times, before Eretzel. So many of the statues, especially when you get to the second tier, and you cross over the grand bridge that leads towards the Temple of Forgotten Lore, you start to notice there's old, ancient statues that just of deities that you don't recognize, gods that you don't recognize, maybe immortal elves, and occasionally you see people praying at them. But as you cross over and you go to the temple, as you're crossing Cyan, you see him on the bridge.
I run up to him. Hey.
You walk quick.
Well, when you, I know Sidon architecture very well. I know my way around.
Are you having Hank out here?
Hmm. Yeah. Sure.
What's Hank's perception? Do you see? Is it the same as yours?
I believe it is actually higher.
What is it?
It is. So he has plus 15. So he has 25. I've only got 20.
Okay. As you're walking across the bridge, Hank just sort of dashes off for a moment. After a few moments, he returns with a sort of a kind of bone in his mouth. It seems.
It's not time for fetch. Yeah, I'll try and just take it out of his. Try and take it out of his drawer.
He growls when you try and take it off him.
Drop.
Make a persuasion check.
Be an animal handling.
Animal handling.
I guess nature.
Nature or persuasion is your choice.
I actually have better diplomacy. I'm 16.
He growls at you, and then as you reach for the bone, he actually drops it and snaps at you. And he goes and picks it back up again.
Whoa.
That's not normal.
Hank. You don't do that.
After a moment, Hank kind of realizes what happened and just drops it and sort of goes.
I'll pick it up and inspect it.
Can I make a sense motive check to, or something? I like to see if see if he was like influenced somehow. Like that's not something Hank does.
Do you have any like detect magic capabilities? You can do an Arcana check if you want.
I'll do an Arcana check, sure.
Because I assume you're like, is he being influenced?
Yeah,
by
like
magic?
that's what I mean. Like, I don't know, like, is he being possessed by the evil
true.
bone? 23.
As far as you can tell, there's not really any. There's nothing to. There's no like latent. I mean, there's latent kind of magical energy in the air in this part of the city. Like you can feel it. It feels kind of oppressive. But you're not quite sure whether that's just also partially because you're in an underground chamber, and it's a little bit warm in here. As Calcifer, as you look at the bone up and down Calcifer, you notice that it's kind of weird looking. It seems like a femur, or of some sort, maybe like the leg of some elf or humanoid. But it seems to be etched with these ancient sort of carvings on it that are like black inside the bone. It seems to be some. You don't quite recognize the script. It's not Sidon. Elvish. Actually, what languages do you speak?
I speak Common and Orcish.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess that it's not Orcish.
It's not Orcish. Yeah, you don't recognize the language.
You got any idea what that says?
I speak Common, Elven, and I imagine Kitsune, or Azira.
Yeah, no, it's none of them.
Beats me.
Do I like feel anything holding this bone?
No.
Where did Hank find it?
Hank, I was like, hold it up. It's like, where'd you get this? Where'd you get it? Go on.
He goes over. There seems to be off in the side. There's like a little kind of prayer cubby hole. That has just loads and loads of bones on the wall, and they're all inscribed with these ancient.
Cool. I will try and find where he got that from and put it back.
Okay. You find a little gap in it, and you just put that back in there.
I'm going to find a local and ask him about the bone wall.
You find a local around here, just someone minding their own business next to a cart. The cart is being pulled by a large spider, a giant spider that's been somewhat domesticated. It's got a kind of saddle on it. The cart itself seems to also it's not on wheels. It's got these kind of legs that, as the spider moves, it sort of walks behind it.
That's fucking weird.
The elf on top has kind of ashy grey skin and white hair. Sits on top and looks down at you. Sorry, did you say a bone wall?
Yeah, we found a bone wall.
Well, that was probably the doings of the Whisperleaf Collective. They are very strange.
I'm rather new here. What can you tell me about them?
They worship some ancient goddess. I'm not quite sure which one. They do. They've all we really know about them is that they occasionally help out with fighting various beasts out in the wilderness. They are very effective at dealing with pests, and so they've been allowed to continue their ways for thousands of years by the Padron. They hire adventurers. They hire people who can take part in the gauntlet because they require sometimes people to help them out with their various pest control activities.
Make a name for yourself in the gauntlet, you'll get their attention.
Ah, yes. If you can survive 5 rounds in the gauntlet, you're on their radar. It said they pay handsomely for adventurers.
Good to know.
Anyway,
Thanks.
I've got to be off, and he whips the spider, and the spider goes tss, and starts scuttling off the wall, and the whole cart just goes onto the wall and goes up to a higher tier.
Just when you think you've seen it all.
It must be a good. Must say I appreciate the craftsmanship on whatever saddle that is, keeping him in.
Yeah, like that's strange.
Definitely seems magical, sort of.
A saddle of anti-gravity.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek gravity, isn't it? It just has its own gravitational field, I guess.
Well,
It's like with spider climb slippers, how you don't just like have your feet go to the wall, but then
Your whole body flops.
flop down because you don't have the
Yeah.
core strength to keep yourself
Yeah.
rigid.
You mean the shin
Well,
strength, I
You're
guess.
just planking the whole time.
so I think we need to get Henning and go to this gauntlet. There's something I need to tell you about what I found in the sewers. And it involves our friends, the Whisperleaf Collective.
Right, we'll go back to Calcifer and Hanera. So you return.
Vasquez and Hanera.
Cascus and Hanera, sorry. So you return. I assume you're returning back to the Might and Fine, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so as you return, did you want to change your name? Serafina is there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you approach her. Are you just going to tell her the truth, or what are you going to say?
Yeah, I'll just
I'm
say,
not going to be there for this interaction.
I'll just say you know, as I don't represent my house anymore, I chose to use a different name when I went to the Palace of the Prophet. So if they if they try and contact me,
I see.
it'll be with this name.
Very, very well. Thank you for letting me know.
Thanks.
When you return back to your room, as you enter the room, you see Nyx sat on the chair, waiting
Oh,
for you.
Nyx. Hi.
Hello, Nix.
Hello.
It is good to see you, but your presence suggests something is wrong.
Yes. She stands and then floats up to you. I was sent to let you know that Cyan overheard Darren Kaidos on his mission, talking about you, looking at Anira.
Okay, and what does he say?
It said that he knows that you're using a fake name, and it is suspicious. But didn't say much. He didn't seem to say much about that. He actually knows who you are. Just that you're associated with the Adno Merchant Company.
Okay. Thank you for this information. How are you?
I am good. I kind of wish we were in the gloom, but I understand that things are difficult everywhere.
Yeah.
Another thing to know is that they're going to the Undercity, so if you wanted to find them, they'll be there.
Thank you. I was going to ask that question. It might be useful to meet. I think we have established a good baseline here. We have access to the what's the name? The Grand Palace, Green
House of the Prophet.
Palace of the Prophet.
We have access to the Palace of the Prophet, and I believe we can start making inroads.
I can pass a message.
That would be great. Let's meet, and then he says a time and a place later. We can.
Do you want to meet at the Heavy Rest Inn? Because they have music there, so it wouldn't be weird that we were going there.
Yes, I can
Go
pass
ahead,
that
Heavy
on.
Rest. Okay.
And that yeah, and I'm glad to see you are well.
Thank you. You too. And she vanishes.
This is not good news, Helena.
Oh, it's fine.
Suspicion placed upon us immediately could close some doors if we are not careful. I suggest if this only starts getting worse, it could be wise for you to I don't know, use your talents some other way that can support. I worry that it will invite more questions. But I think for now we continue.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's just do the Undercity again as our friends arrive at the Temple of Forgotten Lore. So, where am
I would like to have relayed stuff we got at some point with Calcifer along the way.
I? Yeah, go on.
Or just generally filled in on the whole situation, all the events.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, nestled in a sort of cavernous part of the Undercity of Lenora, you see its exterior is adorned with kind of very ancient elven architecture, featuring kind of towering columns, ornate carvings, more murals, as well as out the front. There's a kind of square, I guess is the way to describe it. Out the front, there's a bunch of caverns going off into the distance all around, and then there's the doors to the temple. In the square outside, there is a huge statue of what seems to be a goddess of some sort. But upon entering the temple, you find yourselves in a grand entrance hall. It's dimly lit, very dimly lit, flickering. There's torches that flicker very, very dimly. You can barely see where you're going. It's casting unsettling shadows on the walls. It's a long corridor. Where are we? Hang on, let me just... Sorry, ignore the fact that there's others here. Don't know why Hanira's still here. Is Hanira on the map still?
I can't see.
No,
she's
not
gone.
for me.
Okay, yeah, she didn't just spare for me, but anyway. So yeah, you see a long corridor which leads to a door that is flanked by two monks who are wearing cloaks. They seem to have, again, this kind of ashy grey, like, kind of almost, they're almost drow-like. Maybe not as far gone as drow, but getting there.
Yeah.
But they're wearing black cloaks, and they're not carrying, they're kind of dressed like monks, really, wearing black sashes.
Okay, just approach casually.
Yeah.
As you approach, as you get a bit closer, they both step forward, and in unison, they both speak at the same time. They say, "Are you here to take on our challenge?"
Well, not immediately, but we are looking to find out a little more. As you might tell, we're kind of new to the place. Want to check it out. Heard good things.
You notice both the monks are stood exactly in the same way. They speak at the same time. They both reach into their bag at the same time and pull out a little pin that has a black leaf. There's like a black leaf with silver highlights. They both hand it to each of you.
What's this?
When you decide to take our challenge, provide this.
Very well. May I ask, who is this goddess I hear so much about?
We are servants of the one true goddess.
She got a name?
We have many names. She has many names. In some languages, she is known as the Trespasser. In others, she is known as the Black Mother. She is the goddess of death, the only thing that truly matters.
I forgot that does the speech bubble.
What was that?
when
I fucking knew it.
Zach wrote that, it came up on a speech bubble one side.
What was the other name that she was known as? Other than
The
Trust.
Black Mother.
The Black Mother.
Black Mother. That's not something.
I remember her because I played as a cleric of her at one point.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
games, yeah.
Yeah,
Long ago.
long ago. Very well, we will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have friends with us. Are these good for them too, or just us?
One badge, one entry, but they are welcome whenever.
Okay.
Could you tell us a little more about this challenge, the format,
The badges will
what we
protect
can
you.
expect?
Whilst in the gauntlet, they provide a shield. When the shield is broken, you will return here.
So like we don't, get killed.
The gauntlet's purpose is to test your resolve and your ability to fight. If you succeed, we will find use for you. If you wish to join us, you must first take on the gauntlet.
I have a question. I've only heard a few whispers about this group. Why would, I don't mean any offense or anything, but why would we want to join you? Like, what are you standing up for here?
We do not convert. People join us of their own volition. That will be your choice to make. It is for you to find the reasons, not for us to give.
All right. What do you want? then?
That is for you to discover. If you wish to take our challenge, you will find out more. If you are successful.
Okay. All right.
If you survive 5 rounds, you will become an acolyte. You do not have to believe what we believe, but you will have access to our archives, and you'll have access to our missions. If you survive 10 rounds, we will be interested in having you.
Can we
Okay.
keep taking this then?
You can take the gauntlet as many times as you require.
All right. Okay.
For every round you take, you'll be rewarded greatly.
Right.
Every round you survive, but you only get rewarded for each round once.
Okay. So, if we die, and I do massive finger quotes, like, before we hit 10, and then a different time we do hit 10, is that still alright, or?
The Lady of Night does not care how many times you take on a challenge.
And what if we want to? Do we need to go through all those rounds again every time, or?
Once you
What?
succeed a round, the next challenge can start from that round, provided that everyone that is taking part at the same time has done those rounds too.
Right. So, what's to stop someone from they call it a gauntlet, so I assume you kind of meant to do these things in a row, right?
It is.
Like daisies.
So what's to stop someone from, let's say, doing a round, ending there, coming back, do the next one after they're rested?
The entrance cost is higher to do a single round.
Right.
If you wish to take part from the first round, it will only cost you 10 gold pieces. Otherwise, it will cost you 10 times whatever the number of the round you're attempting to attempt it. If you are going from that round. But you can remain as long as you wish. If you start at round 5, for example, which will cost you 50 gold pieces to enter.
Right.
You can continue to go up as long as it takes.
That 10 gold ahead.
That will be starting from round 1.
Yeah. Oh, just those costs in general. Is that per person or?
Yes.
Right.
Per challenger.
And what about animal companions? You know, ones that you're sort of bonded with, of sorts, almost part of you.
Feel free to bring your companions along. You will have to pay for their entry as well.
Right.
But they will be considered a challenger.
Right. Okay.
We have many species and races take part in our challenge.
What do you use the money for? Sorry.
It is an offering to the Black Mother.
So you don't use it for like infrastructure projects?
We use it for whatever our temple requires.
Right, gotcha.
But we are more wealthy from our other projects than this one. They both laugh at the same time.
Yeah, so we heard. Sounds like pretty skilled. Anything you can tell us about the catch of the day?
Each attempt will be different.
So that's just based on what you got in stock?
It is based on, yes. The monsters that we have do not come to harm as well. Underneath our temple is a grand zoo, based off creatures we have captured.
Oh, so it's ever growing.
It is. There are many creatures that occasionally plague the wilderness and require subjugating.
So
We
that's
do it.
why you hire adventurers.
It is. And we do not believe in needlessly killing. Only the worthy deserve death.
Makes makes a bit more sense to me now. I was a little shocked at how the finances might have worked out if you were just churning through creatures like that. Makes sense now if you're able to use them again.
It is. They both walk back to the door in unison and then stand just facing it away from you.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll be back at some point. Maybe if we hit that get that crucial 5th round done, then maybe we'll peruse that little menagerie you got going on.
Very well, they say, still facing the door.
All right. See you in a bit, lads.
They don't respond. So you leave?
Yep.
Fucking weird.
Are you going to head back to the Might and Fight? Sorry, the Heads Heavy Rest.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think there's much point in staying here anymore.
Yeah, I'm probably going to just head back to
What's wrong?
the Heavy Rest Inn and get working on the rune again.
Cool.
I need 4 days of work on it.
When you get there, did you say so? Calcifer and Cascus and Hinera. Did you say you were going there to the Heads?
Well, so we
Yeah.
said we'd meet later. So we
Yeah,
gave
this
Nick
is
time and a
later then, I
place.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
unless there's anything that you want to do before.
I
there's
think just
nothing
make sure we have cloaks on and that we're
Yeah,
disguised and sufficiently
walking
not gonna get
discreetly.
rumbled.
Yeah. If you both want to make perception checks on the walk, just keep your eye out.
Yeah. 18.
Just waiting for Hinera. Hinera?
Yeah.
Alright. you doing?
Sorry, I have rolled it.
No, is it not coming up?
That's okay. I'll do it again.
Cool, 23. You don't notice anyone following you on the way over.
Okay.
So you return to the Heads Heavy Rest, where you arrive pretty much at the same time Cyan and Calcifer do.
We maybe discreetly move to a booth, maybe at the side, slightly off the.
Yeah,
track.
there's more private seating arrangements that you can have. There's a
Yeah.
bard. There's a bard playing, just sort of bit of music in the distance.
I'm gonna quietly whisper to Nyx to keep an eye out.
Will do. She vanishes, and you sort of out the corner of your eye, you see her sat on the rafters of the inn, just looking down, just keeping an eye out on her.
Are we all sat at the table now? Well, I never thought I would be glad to see your disgruntled faces.
Well,
Oh, come on. You know you like us.
besides, I think you quite like our faces too.
I admit I am growing to find it normal. I am not sure how I feel about this.
You'll love us eventually.
Cyan and Calcifer are such men that you haven't noticed Daenerys dyed her hair.
Yeah.
Who's this one you got with you?
This is I you may say.
I'm Memphis Malfire.
Right, I'll take
Tennessee clan.
I'll take an ale, please.
Make perception check, Silent Cast. Actually, yeah. No, make it make a deception check, Hanera, and then we'll base it off the
Was that good?
perception DC. See if it actually confuses them.
Oh my god.
Hanera's
That's-
disguise
that-
is surprisingly efficient. I guess.
Yeah, that's a crit against me.
You legitimately just believe she's telling the truth.
Do I not make a roll or?
It's against your DC.
Oh yeah, no, I who the fuck is this? I take my dagger out.
You can see her, you can see Nick's face palming.
Why have you brought her here?
Really? Yeah, please spare me this. You are doing a joke. Hmm?
I say I'm wearing the same clothes. Think about it.
They have been cleaned up, haven't
Didn't
they?
you get some Didn't you get some clothes?
No, they just got cleaned and.
Oh,
red.
fair.
I thought
I don't
we
know,
were
they look-
different colours.
Wait. I thought your robe was brown.
I just sit down. Anyway, we've got some business to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Who would like to? Firstly, thank you for sending Nix. She was very clear. We
Yeah.
have been rumbled.
Yeah, I couldn't go for obvious reasons, and Calcifer obviously couldn't go for obvious reasons.
It, how did you manage to speak to Oops, sorry, I think I dragged out a little bit. How did you manage to speak to Darren Kaitis? I did not know you were that good of a spy.
I didn't. I just snuck up and overheard a conversation he had.
Okay. Is there any other detail you should be aware of?
So there's obviously the fact that he knows that you're using a fake name. He was talking to this hooded figure. Neither of them seem to enjoy the Whisperleaf Collective.
The what?
Whisperleaf Collective. They're a group in probably some kind of. I get the idea there's some kind of cult in the Undercity.
Okay.
They're the ones that run the gauntlet.
Okay.
I get the idea. I think I heard something about there being an insurrection or rebellion fermenting in the Undercity.
Okay.
Dayron also pointed out that whereas Perinar Ignis won't follow him, his son will. I don't know if... Do I know if Perinar has more than one son, or...
He has a couple, but the insinuation is that Duranda Ignis doing this stuff.
Yeah, seeing as Duranda was being the one helping out the Cardises, I think that...
So have you ever met either of the Ignis? You mentioned the father or the son. Clearly not the son.
Well, the son butchered my entire village.
And you did meet him.
I
We
did.
met him in
Kelris.
in
Kelris.
Kelris, that's it. Yeah. Okay. What did he look like? Just out of interest. We
Oh, I forgot to write down what he looked like.
I mean, you can just. I assume you were there, so I assume you can just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got fiery red hair. Long. He's quite pale. He's very. He's quite well built, quite handsome. Yeah, that's basically.
I think the only person with fiery red hair but not pale skin is Ganondorf.
I only ask because we had a peculiar meeting this morning, or encounter with a family from the Ignis territories. The Seralith family. I do not know if that means anything to you. They traveled here to meet the council.
Does it mean anything to me?
You've never met anyone from that family.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, There's a couple other things I forgot to mention. They mentioned the council is unstable.
Well, that does not take a genius to work out.
And on top of that, they believe that the Padron's mother has undue influence over him.
But maybe I wonder if they would believe that anyone who is even able to speak to the boy is likely to have undue influence. I feel they would not be satisfied unless they had an iron grip over him in totality. Hide him away, lock the key, you know?
Still, though, might be someone you want to keep an eye out for.
Thank you. I gave a quick run through of our encounter in the in the palace, and kind of say and end on the point around the fact that we've got these two passes, and that I think we will turn our activity, so long as suspicion does not grow too much, to becoming acquainted with the people among the palace, trying to work our way through to have a couple of meetings with some of the higher members of the council to really impress our point and to try and, as you say, tease apart the potential disunity within the council. I suppose we need to have a bit of a think about where we want to go with all of these. I know we have this business with the vault, but I presume that is not the end game here.
No. There is also the side note of the golem incident, and I put the hate mail on the table.
What is this? This reads like it's a bit repetitive, no?
Death threats towards the creator of those golems. Another thing that seems like a cult, some kind of religious faction or nature worshippers or something of that nature.
Do you think they are going to cause a problem? We could just ignore them, no? They are
They could be the ones that controlled the golems that tried to kill us.
Well, by all means, you will use your discretion to look at them.
Yes.
Maybe perhaps when we have been here a little longer, as ambassadors, myself and Hira are not allowed to go beyond the ground floor of the palace. But if there is a reason to, there's no reason why we could not direct you in that, there could be things up there of interest. It would be risky.
Maybe only once we want to actually make ourselves a bit more known as a group, right?
Well, we would need a reason to go up as well, I think.
Well, we need, I think, alongside the casing, I think our next move is to have a look at this gauntlet so that we can get noticed by the Whisperleaf Collective. They're mentioned by Kaidos, and so
There's a decent chance they've got something to do with this this stuff against what was his name? Lyrandon.
Is there a risk of Henira and I joining that we expose ourselves? Are the people in the collective trustworthy?
Don't know. Seem pretty secretive. But I mean, if the if they're working with Kaidos, then well.
Didn't they say like they didn't like the Whisperleaf Collective, like Kaidos? I'm pretty sure Kaidos said that Whisperleaf Collective was fomenting rebellion or something.
Oh, I may have misremembered.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can probably.
Right, in which case, well, it sounds like I don't like the Whisperleaf Collective all that much, so I think we should be all right.
Okay, well, it'd be good to, and if we could find access to them, it could be useful to understand why they dislike the council so much. I feel like if they, sounds like they've been around a long time, their archives could shine a light on things we could potentially use to further potentially remove the influence of Dale and Kaidas, if that is our ambition here.
They did also mention missions, which could include some gold for us.
Are they daily quests? Huh?
Follow this guy, pickpocket that.
Collect 20 blueberries.
Engaging gameplay. Okay. Okay, well, it sounds like that is a good plan. I would continue to case along with Hiniera, or shall I say, I don't even remember.
Memphis.
Oh my god, I'm going to remember that for next week. I'm going to literally write on a post-it note.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis. Meanwhile, we will also have a go at this corn, as you say.
Yeah, I've still got. I'm only about halfway on my flail. So if we could maybe delay a couple of days, that'll be good.
I am happy with that. There is plenty to be getting on with.
Yeah. I still have.
That's just for your notes if you want to.
Cool.
Yes, please.
Thanks, mate. What's this? Oh, cool. Oh, that's useful. I think we carry on into the evening. Cash tones.
Cool.
Assume we depart our separate ways at some point.
Cool. All right. We'll end the day there then. So you can level up now.
Ooh.
Awesome. I
Nice.
will do that in the week.
Cool. That's cool. Thanks for playing.
All right, thanks for running as
Thanks for hosting,
always.
Yes. So we'll see you. Are we not playing next weekend?
I can't play next week.
I might not be. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to
Is
play.
Alex still away?
No, he
he's
just
just
had a
feeling
headache.
ill.
Oh wait, when does he go to Hong Kong?
At the end of the month, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
right, okay. I just assumed that's where he was.
See you next week. Nuggets and nuggets.
Why are we going this way? Okay, anyway, see you later.
I
bye.
will continue to force the nugget thing.
Where's that even come
I can't even remember. Legend Rising lore experts, let us know where.
Yeah, our legendizing lore expert.
That's your challenge for next week.
Find out where this.
Find out where this reference came from. Hope that it didn't happen outside of the recorded stuff, and you'll win yourself an honorary mention.
A discount to buy coins on Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
Legend coins.
You'll earn a discount on Legend coins, our new cryptocurrency that we're releasing.
Oh god.
No.
See you later.
All right, see ya.